G'day guys. 10 years ago we sold everything, bought a bus, packed the kids up and headed around Australia. 10 years later, would we still do it? And let's look at how it shaped our lives today. It was me, my wife, 3 boys aged from 12 to 8 and our daughter who was 5. Before we left, I owned a caravan park. I was a local government councillor. My wife was raising our kids and was looking after the admin of our business. We sold everything, bought a 20-foot bus, and that was our home for the next 2 years. Looking back, I don't regret a thing. At the time, it was definitely the right thing to do. At the time, I just felt like it's what we had to do, actually. I'd been running a caravan park for 8 years, been working as a counsellor, and to be honest, I just had enough of people. I just wanted to change, and been watching people come and go in our caravan park, and I thought, we want a bit of that. So the decision was made. When we left, people say, were you scared? No way. It was actually a relief. We'd been, in that park for 8 years, and while we loved it, we were just ready for something else. And we wanted our kids to experience a bit more as well. A big part of our decision was our kids, actually. Raising kids in a caravan park was great, but after 8 years, they needed a break as well. Our caravan park was like a campground as well, and people come there for an experience, and part of the experience started to be our kids. And we could just see that, that wasn't the right thing for our kids. It was great for them 8 years, but we were ready to move. For us, our kids were our life. Like most people in life, houses, people, cars come and go, but your family and your kids, they're the one constant, and we wanted them to grow up right, and we wanted them to experience life. We also thought they're at a good age to get out and experience the country. A bit of an advantage for us was my wife's a teacher, so schooling wasn't a big problem. Having such a good wife was part of the reason why it was so easy to make the move. It took me a while to convince her, but at the start she wasn't sure. But after 8 years of watching other families and other people in our caravan park, she come round and that was it. Once she decided, we started moving ahead and making a plan. We knew we wouldn't be on the road forever. Our plan was 1, maybe 2 years, find a good opportunity, a good place to live, and settle down. Beyond that, we had no idea. What we did know, but, was once we got out there, the opportunities would be everywhere, and we were right. Once you get on the road, there's opportunities everywhere if you got the right attitude. I'm not going to sit here and blabber on about costs and if we did this and we did that, and because there's plenty of people out there traveling on the road making YouTube videos. I'm just going to talk about how it affected us at the time and over the next 10 years. Staying with friends was awesome. Helping them out. We formed some other friends that we hardly even knew. We went and stayed with and built lifelong relationships. Helped them out, which was great. And they gave us somewhere to stay. We avoided big towns. What we did notice was, when you're not on the hamster wheel of school, work, school sport, kids, catching up with friends for a beer, or whatever you do in the afternoons, your eyes open up and you just see opportunities everywhere. And you're sort of in the zone and you can just see great opportunities everywhere and places to stay and things to do. You just start seeing things differently. Always say to people, don't just jump on the first opportunity you see. It might be good, but make sure it is what you want to do, where you want to stop for a while or that, because there'll be opportunities everywhere. And sometimes if you jump on one too early, you might miss something better. We always knew we were never going back to a big town and back to the 9 to 5 sort of thing. Like, we'd always avoided that already anyway, but we knew that wasn't for us. That's when opportunities started really coming our way. One thing about traveling, when you're looking at your bank account, it's never going up, it's always going down. So after a while, we knew we were going to have to find something and top it up. And that's when an opportunity came along that we couldn't resist. We got an opportunity to manage 500,000 acre Indigenous owned cattle station on the Ningaloo coastline near Coral Bay in Western Australia. My background is grazing and properties and stuff, so I already had a background in that, and I had a background in training Indigenous youth, so for the same company that was leasing that property. So it was amazing how the stars lined up for us, and it was a perfect job for me. So that was it. The bus was headed to WA, to the Ningaloo coast. When we got there, we were blown away by the beauty of that place, and we spent the next 2 years, managing that place. It was Indigenous owned property, and it had a few little issues, a few things that needed tidying up, and that just happened to be my speciality. The cattle, we mustered all the cattle and put them all in an electronic system and tidied the property up a bit. It was a great experience. That Ningaloo coast is amazing. Our family, really big fisher people, me and the boys especially, and the coastline there was insane. The boys went from homeschool to School of the Air, which was a little bit different, but probably even easier. They'd do 3 or 4 hours in the morning, go down the beach, fishing, diving, whatever snowboarding, no, not snowboarding, whatever you call it, riding boards down big sand dunes and that on the beach, just living the dream. I could talk about that experience, make a whole video in its own, but it was amazing. We bought a big boat. We used to go out fishing out there. The fishing out in a boat is insane, like massive fish. I'll show you a few pictures. The kids, the freedom they got there. We bought them a little car, so they used to drive it to the beach. Some of the spots people would travel from all over the world to see, and they had it in their backyard. We had the property that I was managing had about 40 kilometres of coastline to explore. So they just drove around the little car, little Suzuki I bought with them. Like the fishing and hunting and diving they experienced was next level, and it was such a great experience for them and something they'll never forget. And Sarah and I, my wife, will never forget it either. Just even the people we met in that little town, it's a little coastal town, some of lifelong friends, some of the traditional owners that I work for, Indigenous Aboriginal people from over there, the Wayangu people, just amazing people, and just such a great group of people, and made friends with them that I'll never forget. And the kids did as well. Probably the lesson we learned there is get out. If you got your eyes open, there's shit will come your way. It's like the law of attraction, I suppose. I don't know if you really believe in that. I don't know if I do, but all I know is if you want something bad enough, it normally seems to come your way. So yeah, we stayed there for nearly 2 years. We actually had a 2-year contract, and our job there was to help the traditional owners get their feet under them, tidy up a few things on the property, tidy up the cattle, and we'd pretty much done that. And we felt it was time to move on. So from there, I looked at another job similar in a place called Gumbalanya in Kakadu. That fell through for numerous reasons, but while we were there, we looked at a school. My wife looked at getting a bit of work at a local school there in Jabiru, which was close, and she got offered a job there, which was, we thought, stuff it. We haven't got the job on the property. Let's move to Jabiru, which is a little town, a great little town. Used to have a big mine there, but it was closing down. The town was sort of in wind down, but that suited us, and it was great barra fishing, and we love barra fishing. And because we had a bus, we just chucked all our crap in the bus and just headed over. We had a few mechanical issues and that, but like I said, I'm not going to talk about the travelling so much because there's heaps of people doing that. But we got there in our bus. The job had a house supplied, really nice house. First time, oh no, sorry, we were in a house at that other job after it was built, but we enjoyed living in a little town, being able to go to the shops, go and get a feed at there's a local resort sort of thing there, the Crocodile. It was great. The kids actually started working at the Crocodile and stuff. So it was great to get back into a little town that, yeah, really had a little community spirit. So yeah, Sarah started teaching at the school, which was a great little school, and the kids went back to school. They probably were a little bit behind in like reading and writing stuff, because probably their main focus, and ours a little bit, was having a good time for them 2 years. And I also got a job working at the school as a maintenance man and a vet training mentor, which was like, because I'd been vet training for years, just helping out when vet training was on and things like that, which was really good. And Jabiru had some amazing barra fishing. If you've ever seen videos or stuff with crocodiles on a cement crossing with cars going through called Kale's Crossing, that's just up the road. It's an amazing spot, full of barramundi, very big tourist attraction. Like, because we're right in the middle of Kakadu, which is, you know, World Heritage listed national park, amazing place. The exploring and the Aboriginal history there was insane. So it was great to experience that, and great for our kids to experience that. And the barra fishing, we can't forget that. The East Alligator River, South Alligator River, billabongs. Barra fishing was amazing. I'll show you a few pictures of some of the barra we caught and the kids experienced, and we had a great time there. So like before, opportunities just kept falling in our lap. This was an amazing experience. Great for the kids. Great place to visit. Great place to spend some time and get to know the community. But after a while, we realised it just wasn't perfect for our kids, and we missed the ocean. We're big ocean people. The kids love fishing. While the barra fishing was good, you always had to drive there with a car, so the kids couldn't go on their own. And it was just a little bit not what we were looking for. We wanted coastal. We started looking, maybe thinking we might move on, and then Sarah got offered a job in Nhulunbuy. That's where we are now. Coastal community, great community, very isolated, which kind of suited us. Great fishing and great exploring and great place to live. So we actually sold the bus when we were in Jabiru. We knew we weren't going to go travelling in the bus again. That was when COVID hit, actually, so it was hard to sell the bus. So we lost a little bit of money on it, but who cares? You don't travel Australia to make money. And we moved to Jabiru, and we moved to Nhulunbuy. Righto guys, I'm filming back the other way now. I've been trying to keep the ocean in the background, but I'm getting too far away from home, and it's going to get too late in the day, and I don't want to film this over 2 days. So yeah, so we moved to Nhulunbuy. So here's another lesson for you. Just because something's good doesn't mean there ain't something better too. You know, it's easy to just settle for something because you think, oh, yeah, this is good. But don't be frightened to keep your eyes open, because there could be something better. And that's what we found. While Jabiru was a great place, Nhulunbuy was next level. So we moved to Nhulunbuy. Sarah started teaching, and I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew something had come up. We got to town. There was a little tackle shop. I went in there one day, as you do, any male would do. I was looking around and got offered a little job there as a, I don't know what you call it, salesman or whatever. Just, it's only a little town, and it was a great place to get to know everyone. If you move to these little towns, something like a tackle shop or something like that, every bloke in town goes through there, so you get to know people. They get to know you after a while, and that was great. After that, I started working at a boarding school, because I'd had a fair bit of experience with kids. I used to be a vet trainer. I've always done stuff with Indigenous training or at-risk training. So I finished up working at the local boarding school, where Indigenous kids from all over Arnhem Land and Kakadu used to come to go to school. That was great. And then after a while, I moved over to the high school and started training people in maritime, like getting their coxswains. So I'd travel around communities, teaching kids how to drive boats. And that was a great experience. And I got to see a lot of communities, which was a really good experience. Here's another lesson. Some things You know, you might do something and you never know where it can lead. You know, what I've always found, no matter what you're doing, always treat people good. And because you never know where that might lead. You know, through that tackle shop, I got into the boarding school. From the boarding school, I got into the high school and finished up with a great job. They're all good jobs, but the high school deal was awesome experience and part of my life I'll never forget. Through all this, but the biggest thing we've got from it is the growth in our kids, the confidence we've seen grow in them, you know, the can-do attitude, and they got the belief they can do anything. And that's, you know, as a parent, what more could you want? You know, we see things they do, like you know, our boys now, oldest is 22. We got one nearly 21 and an 18-year-old. And, you know, they make mistakes, but, you know, you see them making choices that are definitely make me proud. And our daughter, she's a little go-getter, you know, she's doing really well in school, made lots of friends. She's got like 3 jobs. She saved more money than I had when I was 20 and she's only 15. So you got to, you know, as a parent, feel good about where our kids are at. And we can see them backing themselves, you know, and that's what, as a parent, I love seeing. You know, they're talking about things that they're going to achieve, which I love hearing. So looking back, would we do it again? Hell yeah. You know, if we didn't do it, would we be a bit more financial? Probably. Have more money in super? Probably. But, you know, what I've seen, I had that caravan park for 8 years. I've seen a lot of people traveling around in caravans and that in the 80s, and that while they were still fairly fit, they just weren't experiencing it to its full potential. You know, we got in and did it a lot younger, which I'm glad we did. And we experienced it with our kids. I don't even know if I want to do it when I get older. We just want a little house somewhere and be able to help look after our grandkids. One thing I do know is I don't know if we would have had the relationship we have with our kids if we weren't traveling together and the time we spent together. That's something that I would give anything for, and it's been really good. So I'll turn back around. So I see plenty of videos out there, people talking about the experiences while they're doing it. And look, everyone's experiences are going to be different, but the growth you'll get and the growth your kids will get if you got kids, that's worth it on its own. What happens in between? Like, I could sit here and make a video about the time we got a flat battery and we're stuck on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. I had to leave my wife there and drive with a car to another state, actually, across a state line to get a battery. No, a big jump start pack to get the bus going. You know, the time the bus was blowing black smoke like anything, we had no idea what was going on, thinking the motor was going to blow up. And that's, you know, they're good videos, but, you know, this is about 10 years after, and I can promise you, even 10 years after the trip, I don't think you'll ever regret it.